The scenes we've got here today, two wonderful sets of supporters. Sunderland fans, you know, they've been down here for 2 or 3 days. I'm hearing partying, enjoying the full atmosphere, so this is an incredible occasion for them. And of course, they've got a real chance to make history today.
The line of VIP guests is being led by Chris Newkirk, who's the head of international at Sponsors Capital One. Greg Clark, the chairman of the Football League, there too, and Alistair Gibbons, a supporter of Prostate Cancer UK, the Football League's official partner charity. The referee is Martin Atkinson, who will be assisted by Stephen Child and Simon Long. Big day for the mascots too. For Manchester City, we just saw Elliot Wright selected at random after a competition on the City website. For Sunderland, George Johnson, a 4-year-old from Farringdon, a little boy who's undergone 75 operations, has a condition leaving him unable to eat or drink properly, but he is Sunderland's great lucky mascot, having been in attendance for the semi-final second leg at Manchester United and the Premier League win over Everton on Boxing Day. Even the normally unflappable Manuel Pellegrini looks a bit taken aback by what he's seeing around him today.
Well, it's a huge day for him as well. His first big final as a Manchester City manager, so, you know, he'll be wanting to really make his mark.
The national anthem will precede the match, and it will be led by star of the West End, Louise Dearman.
Today's starting lineups, first of all, for Manchester City. Goalkeeper, Costa.
Even amongst the galaxy of stars, one name stands out in Manchester City's lineup. Sergio Aguero is back to fitness and starts, having missed the last 5 games. And despite Edin Dzeko and Alvaro Negredo's goal power, City have missed him. Aguero for Negredo is one change from last week against Stoke. Costel Pantilimon for Joe Hart is the other. The Romanian has played in 4 of City's 5 League Cup games this season and is yet to concede a goal. Sunderland have 4 previous winners of this competition in their team. John O'Shea and Wes Brown twice each with Manchester United. Seb Larsson in Birmingham's team that upset Arsenal 3 years ago. And Ki Sung-young with Swansea just last season. Brown, Larsson and Lee Catamol for the cup-tied Liam Bridcut are the 3 changes made by Gus Poyet. Every Sunderland name being read out across the public address system is getting a massive cheer from the Sunderland supporters, whilst the Manchester City fans are indulging in their first Poznan of the day. The City fans are here at last. Kevin, we feared that it might be just a one-way street by what we've been seeing in London.
That's right. I mean, as I said, I was in on the tube this morning. It was incredible scenes, really. So much red and white everywhere. There was very few Manchester City fans I bumped into on the way in. Incredible atmosphere everywhere. Coming up Wembley Way, it seemed to be all red and white again, although I was here very early. So Sunderland fans milking the atmosphere. And, you know, they're here for a wonderful day out, but the big thing starts now.
We know that so far, at least, it does mean a little bit more to Sunderland fans because it's been so long since they've had anything to celebrate. 1973, the FA Cup final. But Manchester City were in that position once. Their fans responded over the last few years, and now that they're here, they'll want it as much as anyone.
I think that's key, Guy. Manchester City recognise where they've been and where they've come to. So it's been a hell of a road that they've had to go down, Manchester City supporters and the club in general. But they're right at the top of European football right now, and long may it continue from their point of view.
Samir Nasri's chest heaving as he goes through his pre-match rituals. Played on the biggest stages of all for clubs and country. And look what it means. And for the first time we have two South American managers of a major English Cup final. Uruguay's Gus Poyet, Chile's Manuel Pellegrini.
Yeah, it's a huge occasion for both of those two guys. And the thing is as well, you see with Gus Poyet, he recognised that he's on the cusp of making history as Sunderland manager today, but Pellegrini also is in that same boat.
You win a cup as Sunderland manager, they build a statue of you. That's how it goes. Manchester City, of course, in theory, are still chasing the quadruple. I'm sure a domestic treble will suit them very nicely indeed. Martin Atkinson blows his whistle, and the 54th League Cup final is underway at Wembley Stadium. It looks a picture, as it always does. Somehow makes it look an even better occasion that it's half blue, half red. It's a sea of passion and colour everywhere you look. On the field, Kevin, it looks as though Manchester City are settling themselves into their passing rhythm very quickly and nicely. Yeah,
getting into the rhythm very quickly. You can see with Sunderland packing the midfield, leaving Barini up front on his own. As you say, Manchester City very settled in possession right now.
Dzeko with the first mistouch of the game. And it will be a Sunderland throw-in.
It's a huge bonus for Manchester City, though, Guy, having Sergio Aguero back. We all know what a miss he's been for them in recent weeks, and I'm sure when Gus Poyet seen his name on the team sheet, he was dreading what was to come.
Does that make a difference to players when you look at a team sheet and you see a name like that? Does it just give you a bit of a psychological hit?
I think certainly from John O'Shea and Wes Brown's point of view, the two centre-halves to Sunderland, I think they would have preferred to play against Dzeko and Negredo today. With Aguero playing, he gives them a different outlet and a different option, so it's going to be difficult for those two to contain him.
Gus Poyet, of course, will point to the fact that his Sunderland have beaten Manchester City this season 1-0 at the Stadium of Light. It was back in November. Just 2.5 weeks ago they were supposed to meet at the Etihad, but foul weather put paid to that game going ahead. Sunderland have won the last 2 meetings and 4 of the last 7, all of them on Wearside and all of them 1-0. Few of the players involved today have played in 2 or 3 of those games. And that will help Sunderland's confidence. They are massive underdogs for this. First crunching tackle of the day. David Silva was caught. Martin Atkinson lets the game go. And Jack Colback knocks it down nicely to Marcos Alonso. Phil Bardsley took no prisoners there.
That was a heavy challenge to start this game. I'm sure that's what, certainly from his point of view, what he'd want to do. Try to get very close to David Silva. We know what a player he is. Brilliant early challenge.
Collar off. Silva to Di Michelis. A little bit of pressure on him. He's taken a lot of flack for some of his performances of late. Unlike Pablo Zabaleta, who can do pretty much no wrong in City fans' eyes.
Well, there is a weakness though, Guy, with Di Michelis. Can Barini trouble him? If he can play on that side, I'm sure he can.
Here's Kolarov. Silva. Kolarov just checked himself. He was getting ready to shape himself to cross, and that split second of delay cost him.
Yeah, I think he just misjudged it. You can see Kolarov is a really good attacking player. We've seen that challenge. Oof. Heavy challenge. Seen the ball, Bardsley a little bit over the top. Silva certainly felt it.
Well, we've seen yellow cards for similar tackles to that. Referee's got to settle into the game as well. Last thing you want to do is start dishing out the cards and blowing the whistle too early.
That's the thing, guys, such a big game. So Martin Atkinson just letting that go. I can't see him letting too many of those sort of tackles go later on.
Well, those of us who are strictly old school do like the old rules of you're allowed one. Not sure the purists would agree. All the way through to Pantilimon, who gets his first feel of the ball. 4 games, 4 clean sheets in the Capital One Cup this season. Big choice that. England's goalkeeper left out, Romania's picked.
It's a big call it is, but as you say, he's kept clean sheets throughout this tournament, so he wants to stick with him for the final, and that shows loyalty from Pellegrini.
I think Joe Hart was expecting it somehow. Don't make it any easier for him to swallow.
Yeah, he was expecting it, but he's saying it's disappointing because you want to play in these big cup finals.
Fernandinho. Pablo Zabaleta. Di Michelis. This is David Silva. Kolarov. Deflected behind. It will be a Manchester City corner. We're just hearing a ripple of applause around the ground in tribute to one of Manchester City's 1976 League Cup final winners, Mike Doyle. His picture on the big screens around Wembley. Silva with the corner. Looking for Di Michelis. And it's headed behind for take 2 for David Silva. Or is it a goal kick? Some of Sunderland's players seem to be shaping themselves for one. No, it is going to be another corner.
Yeah, it's good defending from Wes Brown. Got himself across.
Di Michelis being followed, manhandled by Marcos Alonso. It's going to bounce to Di Michelis. Company with a touch for Silva. Headed away by Marcos Alonso. First spell of pressure on that Sunderland penalty area. Sunderland, who have conceded more goals from corners in the Premier League this season than any other side. Silva won't get onto that return. Called back to John O'Shea. Almost caught by Samir Nasri.
Good pressure from Nasri there. There's a couple of warning signs for Sunderland in the early stages. 2 just hopeful balls played in from the corner, really, and probably defended from the Sunderland defence.
Vito Mannone, fueled by a little too much adrenaline there. He's played the goal kick straight out of play. Big day for Mannone. What a place to celebrate his 26th birthday. And in front of him, John O'Shea, who reaches the milestone of 100 games for Sunderland today, of all days. Kolarov. Edin Dzeko. Company. Di Michelis finds Kolarov. It's been pretty much one way from the start. Manchester City playing most of the football in Sunderland's half of the field. Zabaleta. Sunderland can't afford for City to do this constantly all the way. They need to break, like they're doing now, with Lee Catamol. He's looking for Barini. It's not a bad ball at all. A lot to do for Fabio Barini, though. Chased by Di Michelis. Help arrives from Adam Johnson. Bardsley's up there too. Johnson, flag is up against Barini. And even though Jack Colback has turned the ball into the net, the whistle had long gone and the flag had been held a long while.
Well, it's brilliant midfield play initially from Lee Catamol. Very, very tight line it was once Barini did pick up that ball with Adam Johnson. You can see, I think it was Fernandinho just stepping up to play him offside. Good line from Manchester City's defence.
Well, the first break that we've seen from Sunderland, and that's what they've got to do. Didn't seem able to attack Arsenal at all like that last weekend at the Emirates.
Well, it's right in saying that once Lee Catamol stepped forward as well, he didn't have too many options apart from Barini. It was a wonderful pass with the outside of his right foot to set the attack going. And Barini did well to hold the ball up and bring his teammates into play.
Kolarov. Aguero. O'Shea in to win it, but only temporarily. Aguero taps Colback out of his way. Mannone forced into his first save of the game. Played in by Kolarov, turned away by Colback. Larson. Won't find Adam Johnson with that pass. Fernandinho. Toure. Silva, robbed by Catamol. Nasri. Fernandinho, Zabaleta is an option wide. Silva, Aguero. Key trying to keep him in a safe place. Key played at centre-back for Swansea against Bradford City in the final a year ago. And had a pretty easy ride of it, in truth. He'll have a much busier day today. Fernandinho can't get past Cattermole. Larson. Barini's on the run. And he stayed in front of Vincent Kompany here, and he's in on goal. It's Barini! Fabio Barini gives Sunderland the Wembley lead. He has been their man for the biggest of all their goals this season, and he's done it again.
Well, again, it was Lee Cattermole breaking up the attack from Man City. He did really well. What a wonderful ball from Adam Johnson played forward. Again, Dimichelis and Kompany caught out. What a wonderful finish it was from Barini, the outside of his right foot.
The Italian on loan from Liverpool. One look to set himself. One strike past Pantilimon, who concedes a goal in the Capital One Cup for the first time in all of the run. Look at Gus Poyet. Listen to the noise. It is Manchester City 0, Sunderland 1.
What a goal, Guy. What a goal that is. And you see Dimichelis, he's caught out of position, high up the pitch. Vincent Kompany can't get back to Barini. Wonderful goal.
The man who scored the winning penalty in the semi-final first leg against Manchester United. The man who scored the late equaliser in the quarter-final against Chelsea. And now in the final itself at Wembley. Marcos Alonso is on his merry way here. Stopped by Zabaleta and Kompany. What a shock to Manchester City's system.
Well, he just chose the wrong option there, Alonso. He had options to his right-hand side. Inside him, Seb Larson. He could have been playing it out to the right-hand side, but certainly on the front foot now, Sunderland.
Return to Nasri by Aguero. Aguero gets away from Cattermole. Did it nice and easily too. Silva. Zabaleta's in the box. Silva can't find a way through to him. Aguero. Kept at bay by Bardsley. Nasri. Silva. Immediately the shooting chance was denied him by Larson getting in his face.
It's great work from Larson and Cattermole and Jack Colbeck.
Zabaleta. Toure with the help on, and Bardsley with the safe header behind. Sunderland know Vito Manone is spreading the message that Manchester City will come, and they will come hard.
Yeah, they've just got to settle themselves now. Good defending there from Bardsley at the far post. Slight incorrect body shape, but just put it out, clear the danger, and then you can regroup.
Silva's corner. Headed clear by King. There's Fernandinho. Gave the ball away. Adam Johnson does really well. Look at the room here for Colback. Jack Colback on his first ever visit to Wembley. Never even been to watch a game. Marcos Alonso, Dimichelis with the flying header behind. Sunderland corner. And Sunderland, having soaked up some early pressure, are not only well and truly in this cup tie, just at the moment they're in command of this cup final.
And apart from the goal, they've had 2 or 3 breakaways. They look a real threat on the counter-attack, Sunderland, attacking with real pace. Alonso that time getting forward. Decent ball played in. You say they are a threat, and it's an opportunity from the set play.
Wes Brown's got a bead on early. Hard work already. Seb Larson's been here and done it before. And it comes from the Swede. Flicked across, not properly away. Barini, deflected. Sunderland corner again.
It's a chance, isn't it, Guy? Real chance at the edge of the box. Not a great header from Fernandinho. Dzeko actually turned his back on it and deflected the ball over the crossbar. Good pressure from Sunderland.
There are some players who just seem to save themselves for the biggest of occasions, and Fabio Barini is developing into one of those players, whether it be a North-East derby against Newcastle United, whether it be knockout cup tie after knockout cup tie. He's on his game when it matters. What a good finish it was.
Outstanding.
In from Larsson again, headed over the bar by Wes Brown. Only one goal since becoming a Sunderland player, late winner at Queen's Park Rangers. Mind you, he hasn't had too much game time due to horrible succession of problems with his knee.
Yeah, he's had injuries and suspensions this season, but when he has played, Gus Poyet's quick to point out what an integral part he is of this Sunderland team.
Ki Sung-young finds Phil Barsley, who's got a story to tell. Frozen out completely by Paolo Di Canio at the start of the season. Ended last season somewhat in disgrace. Goodness me, he's played his part in Sunderland's rise under Gus Poyet. He's been one of their most influential players. He's the man who scored the winner over Manchester City in November. Toure. It's John O'Shea who steps in front of Edin Dzeko to clear. Toure. Di Michelis back to Pantilimon. A little bit cheeky, you can see in your picture, Sunderland fans are doing their own Poznan. I think at the moment it would be the City fans who turn their backs on the game.
It's great scenes, isn't it? We've seen Adam Johnson as well at the moment. He's got a real disciplined role to play today, with Kolarov bombing on down Manchester City's left-hand side. And Johnson's almost playing as a right back at the moment.
Manuel Pellegrini has seen something he wants to tinker with. I just wonder, with those Manchester City fans in particular, how many at this stage, and once that goal went in, just immediately minds went back to Wigan in the FA Cup final last year. They have the talent, they're the overwhelming favourites, but it's happened before.
It has, but they've got enough time to try to put it right. That's the difference from that cup final in May.
Bardsley's throw. Bardsley forced to turn back. Catamol. Manoni. Now Brown. Alonso asking Colback to chase. He'll do well with Yaya Toure in his way. For Toure, that'll be like swatting a fly. Colback's trying to get to grips with him. Won't get him down.
It's good pressure though from Colback. Perhaps just got a little bit too tight. Could have forced Yaya Toure back towards his own goal.
Do City, even at this early stage, Kevin, have to start pushing Yaya Toure into advanced positions? It always seems to be where he's more effective.
It is, and I mean, I think at the moment in time they're quite comfortable in possession, but you have to say that Sunderland, counteracting that, they've been very good defensively, so perhaps as the game progresses and we go further on into it, you might see Yaya Toure playing further up the pitch.
Nasri. Toure. Silva. He's managed to work it into Nasri. Zabaleta's trying to find some room for him. Silva. Toure, lovely flick. Nasri not quite expecting it. Marcus Alonso had gone with him well, and that will be Manonis.
Yeah, Marcus Alonso did really well. Little flick from Aguero played in there, but you can see that's the discipline side that Sunderland have to do today. They've got to track the runners. Mentioned Adam Johnson early on, and even Jack Colback on the left-hand side for Sunderland. They've got to play a bit deeper, almost as right backs.
You think Sunderland, Wembley, And if you're of a certain age, you think Jimmy Montgomery. 1973 FA Cup final. Oh, and Jimmy Montgomery was nearly to his feet again with Barini giving Vincent Kompany more problems. Kompany and problems, the words shouldn't really go together, rarely do, but Barini's a big one for him.
Well, here's he caught him out for the goal, and good pressure. It's going to be difficult for Barini. He could be isolated at times, but that's what he needs to do. He's just got to concentrate on the two Man City centre halves, Dimichelis and Kompany, and put those two under pressure, not be too bothered about running wide.
There was another selection, Kevin, that was bold. Barini's rarely played up front for Sunderland this season. He's been in a wide role predominantly. Jose Altidore not in the squad at all. Big money signing last summer. And Stephen Fletcher on the bench, returning to fitness.
It gives them energy, doesn't it? That's the thing. And Barini's disciplined enough to go deeper at times as well if Sunderland are going to need him in the midfield areas. It just keeps Sunderland nice and compact, certainly in the central area.
Plenty of time, this time, for Kompany and Pantilimon.
There's no real urgency though from Man City at the moment, is there? They're just quite content to keep the ball in the final two-thirds, the middle third and their own third of the park.
Kolarov. Toure. There's Zabaleta. Wes Brown. Across to meet Edin Dzeko. Dzeko, who scored in all 4 rounds of the competition, 6 goals. But across all competitions, he's on a run of 5 games without a goal at the moment. Aguero seems to score every time he plays, but he couldn't go any further there. Barini got in front of Dimichelis and moved the ball away from him quickly. Might have caused the problem, that. Zabaleta, Sunderland throw.
Catamol's doing a brilliant job at the moment, Guy. You know, he's sitting in front of John O'Shea and Wes Brown. Anytime Aguero comes short, he's the one that's getting round Aguero's feet, and it's allowing Wes Brown and John O'Shea to drop off.
Bardsley. Key. Nice turn of direction. Johnson. Big things hoped of him today from Sunderland supporters, the former Manchester City winger. Johnson and Toure collide. Key away with the ball.
That was a mismatch, wasn't it? Johnson and Toure.
Johnson again. Trying to power his way past Alexander Kolarov, but didn't have the room to do it. He was a hugely popular player in the City dressing room, even though he's not exactly best friends with Toure at the moment.
Well, he did quite well at Man City as well. He didn't get enough starts for his own liking. He moved to Sunderland to try to progress in his career, to get more game time.
Title winner with City, FA Cup winner with City on this very stage. Played at Wembley 3 times here as a man in sky blue. Actually first played at Wembley aged 10 in 1998 and scored twice for Peterlee Boys. But even if he scores today, still won't carry quite the same magic as that day did then.
No, I'm sure it won't.
That will roll away from Dzeko. This was an important save from Vito Mannone. It was his first of the day. It was going in from Aguero. And it was 75 seconds later when this happened.
Well, it was an important save. Aguero was a threat, we know that, but what a breakaway it was for Sunderland.
2 Italians instrumental in Sunderland taking the advantage at Wembley. I wonder if the Italian who brought them to the club is watching somewhere.
I'm sure he is. You know, he can take some sort of credit for today. You've got to say the turnaround has been immense under Gus Poyet, but as you say, it's a club very much in transition at that particular time.
Mannone to Bardsley. And Manoni away. Di Michelis. Brown, pestered by Sergio Aguero. Barini. He's going to have to chase it himself. Barnsley watched the ball well. Read the bounce beautifully. Larsson's breaking into the box for Key. That pass wasn't on. Key uses the ball well.
Yeah, it was excellent play from Key there, didn't panic.
Colback. Quite a few red and white striped shirts getting into the box here. Catamol. Nicely lifted out to Bardsley. Flag will go up here against Seb Larsson. But Sunderland are doing exactly what their manager challenged them to do here. He did say after that bad defeat at Arsenal last week, we need to be braver on the ball. They're being just that.
Certainly. And Key as well, certainly going forward from Sunderland. He's getting on the ball, he's just making Sunderland make 4, 5, 6 passes at a time. And then it was wonderful use of the width by Lee Catamol off the back of it.
Key. Touré's upon him. And it's a foul. Touré, well, at first resisted Touré at first resisted the temptation to slam the ball down, but when he finally did, it wasn't in frustration at the decision so much as with Sergio Aguero for some reason or another. Had a few words. Marcus Alonso, Jack Colback has a look along the line to see whether the flag will be raised. Colback. Johnson will chase it. Bardsley's there with him. Johnson's ignored that option. Zabaleta clear. Well clear. Key beat Dzeko. Bardsley. Silva took it off him. Dzeko to Nasri. In comes Catamol. The ball has broken to Sergio Aguero. And Aguero is running away from Marcus Alonso. Dzeko and Nasri in support. Nasri just run away from him. And it's an easy enough save in the end for Manoni.
Well, it was brilliant again from Catamol, tracking the runner. Again, Aguero slipping away from Alonso down the right-hand side. Good awareness to pull it back for Nasri, but again, Lee Catamol just getting across, preventing Nasri from getting a clean strike at goal.
Samir Nasri, a runner-up with Arsenal 3 years ago, on the end of an upset. Has been speaking in the build-up to today about the fact he's lost finals at Wembley with Arsenal and Manchester City, and he was hoping for more of the sort of luck that he's enjoyed here as a France player. He was also talking about when Arsenal lost to Birmingham 3 years ago, how after that their hunt for trophies just fell apart. And I suppose that's a real risk for Manchester City.
Yeah, I saw them quotes from Nasri this week, and it can have that effect on a team further down the line. If after you lose a big cup final like this, if City were to lose it, it could have that knock-on effect in the other trophies that City are going for this season.
Plenty of time left for them to get back into this today. Manuel Pellegrini is rather nervously walking up towards the touchline and back. He's done it several times. Zabaleta, angry that that's been deemed a foul. Marcus Alonso. That will drift behind, should Kolarov give it that option. Didn't want to. Pantilimon. Well, had he just let that go, Alexander Kolarov, it would have been goal kick, ball away, no problem. Now it's a Sunderland throw in the City half. Yeah,
sloppy from Kolarov. I think Alonso chose the wrong option with the diagonal ball that he tried to hit, but it was a harmless ball for Kolarov to deal with. As you say, just let it run out of play. Let the team regroup.
What can Sunderland do from the throw? It's Johnson who's wriggled through. Company miskicks. Fernandinho clears. One back. Marcos Alonso, but the whistle's gone. It's going to be a City free kick.
Well, City just switching off at the back again. Just a long throw played into Johnson. You see, just switching off. That time it was Kolarov and Dimichelis again. Good skill from Johnson. Just couldn't pick out a teammate. And Company wasn't decisive with the clearance, just did well to get something on it.
Company. Catamol. Returned to him by Key. And Catamol then played that towards Colback with too much fizz. Apologies all round. Martin Dimichelis has taken stick recently, but not without reason. And he's not started the game in great form today either.
No, he's looked unsteady, guy. He really has. I think for the goal, could have dropped deeper. And of course, there's a couple of opportunities for Sunderland down that inside right-hand channel.
Matija Nastasic is injured at the moment. Julian Lescott has seemingly always been second fiddle since Dimichelis first got into the City team. And Manuel Pellegrini clearly trusts Dimichelis and sees plenty in him that some others don't. Having played for him in 2.5 seasons at Malaga.
And he's got so much experience. He's played for the top teams in European and world football, but he does struggle at times when he's one-on-one with players.
Bayern Munich stalwart for many years, but I don't think he'd get in the Bayern team now.
No.
Nasri. Zabaleta. Silva. Nasri can work it to Silva again. Silva's clipped through, back into the middle. And it's a super clearance. Back came Phil Bardsley to knock the ball away.
Well, it was brilliant from Bardsley, but great play from Nasri and Silva and Torre, all heavily involved in that. And you see Sunderland just had bodies back. They were comfortable and organised, but that's the threat that City have.
Back with Silva. Fernandinho. Nasri. City just starting to look menacing again. Zabaleta, Toure. It's Bardsley who is the important defender for Sunderland once more. Colback, chased by Zabaleta, who has made sure that he forced that corner.
Yeah, again, Sunderland's back four defending very narrow. Phil Bardsley very, very tight with Wes Brown just inside him at the right side centre-half. Dealt with it well.
Corners have been a problem, defending them at least for Sunderland this season. Might be a problem here, they can't get it away. Kolarov scrapping Company too. Company, it was Larsson who blocked, it's another corner.
It's good pressure for Manchester City now.
Over it comes from Nasri, right across the face of goal, and that's a really good header from Fabio Barini. Can't keep him out of it.
Well, he did do well, Barini. It was a little stumble it was from Key in the build-up to that. Poor defending at the near post from Sunderland there.
Here comes City again. Dimichelis with the near post run, it's well over him. Headed away, and what can Sunderland do on the break? Larsson is fending off Nasri as best he can. Johnson will try and run away from Fernandinho. Couldn't do it, and hasn't even got the throw.
It's brilliant from Fernandinho. Really good cover from him, getting across to Adam Johnson. That's a threat though again, guy from the break. Sunderland can get away at pace, they can get bodies in behind.
Adam Johnson talked about in the week due to his exclusion from Roy Hodgson's latest England squad. Unlucky?
I think you probably look throughout. I think he's in good form, he is, but I look at even James Milner that's on that's not involved today for City or not in the starting 11, and he's another one that's pushing ahead of him, I think, right now. So I think he's playing well. He's got to continue his form to the end of the season to try getting that squad.
And Milner on the bench is a well-used phrase this season. He, in a way, has taken that role from Johnson in the City squad.
Yeah, and they've got Townsend and Sterling, all these players as well that have done well this season. So there's a few he needs to shake off, Adam Johnson.
Company back to Pantilimon. Now Di Michelis. He's got the freedom of his own half. Toure. Fernandinho. Nasri. Now Silva. Key with the block. Colback. Marcos Alonso. Sunderland's throw-in.
Sunderland quite content to let Man City go wide. Zabaleta getting forward there from right back, but Sunderland just keeping it very, very narrow. The back four not coming out to engage too often. That's the way that Gus Poyet would have worked this week, I'm sure.
Marcos Alonso. It's Fernandinho's header. Catamol. Key. Larson. Fernandinho chasing. Johnson. Barnsley's eager to push forward again. O'Shea to Brown. O'Shea to Catamol. Alonso. Colback. Marcos Alonso shrugs off Nasri and then ran into Yaya Toure. Well tackled by Colback. And Toure stays down. Fernandinho. Little swipe at him from Marcos Alonso. City free kick. And Toure only now is starting to get back to his feet. Jack Colback, half his size, has taken him out.
Yeah, heavy challenge it was from Colback. You say, very, very brave in the tackle for a man half his size as well.
Given away by Dzeko, who's not in the game at all. Key to Marcos Alonso. Dzeko easily sidestepped by Brown. Key. Bardsley. Sunderland's huge support are giving their team the olays with every pass now. Key to Marcos Alonso. Key. Bit of fire about Yaya Toure now after that callback foul. Bardsley. Good spell of possession this from Sunderland, even if it's not exactly free-flowing. It's a little bit, think about it on the hoof, and they've lost it now. It's Aguero. O'Shea has to stand off. We've seen Aguero score after taking that long route round a few times, but not this time.
Yeah, it's a good challenge from Alonso off the back of it. That's the problem for Sunderland, when they are in possession, comfortable, become a little bit disjointed, and City can exploit that.
Here goes Barini again, and Barini is running away from company. Great tackle that. What a tackle. We could be talking about that in massive terms at the end of this cup final.
Oh, it was a brilliant challenge. Di Michelis has run straight to the linesman. It's clearly offside. Whether or not the linesman thought there was a touch. Clearly offside though, and company though timed it to perfection. Wonderful challenge.
Barini all set to double it up. They know.
Should have been offside though, Guy. I don't think that the assistant referee had seen the touch.
Captain's challenge from Company. Over from Larson. And it's planted wide by a City forehead. Talking of foreheads, head-to-head, Di Michelis and Bardsley. Bardsley not happy with his shirt being stretched and pulled. Martin Atkinson is having a word with the Sunderland fullback, who is Manchester United through and through.
Yeah, it's something and nothing though, isn't it? A bit of pushing and shoving the box. There's half a chance though for Alonso in the midst of that.
They resume acquaintances again. Over it comes. Pantilimon made a decision to punch it. Should get above everybody else. And that's Lee Catamol having a go. Last scored in December 2008.
Yeah, he was taking no chances there, was he? It's a long hoof, under pressure he was, just put your foot through it. And again, Sunderland can just get round and regroup.
That last goal was for Wigan against Blackburn. Were you playing in that? Where were you then?
I think I could have been, actually, yeah.
What, you were going to tell me you made it for him?
Well, yeah, of course I did.
Brown, back to Manone. Zabaleta. Marcus Alonso. Cole back. Tigerish work. It's a free kick. Some thought that maybe a throw-in had been awarded, but the whole of the ball didn't cross the line. It was the foul that was the problem.
Oh, he just come through the back of Zabaleta. I think it was a fair challenge.
Silva, collar off. Deflected behind for a City corner.
Sunderland haven't defended these corners too well in the early stages, guys, so they need to do a little bit better.
Over from Silva. Company standing jump. Di Michelis down. Was he wrestled down? Well, Yaya Toure is asking the question, but nobody else really joining in.
Again, it's another header. You see Company that time winning the duel with Brown. Barini actually it was on Di Michelis, wasn't it?
Company did well to get up above Wes Brown. No, it's Marcus Alonso, isn't it? And he took a real risk, because when you wrap both hands around like that, some referees might see it differently.
Yeah, it was Alonso. Just had his hand nestled on his side, didn't he? And sometimes when players go over, we've seen recently the referees giving free kicks and penalties for these sort of incidents.
The first half has absolutely raced by. It is an enthralling Capital One Cup final. And it's Sunderland 1-0 in front. Bardsley having to work to hold off Silva. Down he goes. No free kick, but it's run away from Dzeko, who's just the object here of a few arms being waved in frustration from City supporters.
Well, he's struggled, guy, hasn't he? He's struggled to get into this game, Dzeko. You said it before, he's been very poor. He's not managed to have any influence at all for City, and it's everything that's going through Aguero right now seems to be coming to something for City, but Dzeko not involved at all.
He's one of those players, though, isn't he? Give him a chance and he'll score it, having not done a great deal for the rest of the match. Silva, collar off. O'Shea played it against Bardsley. Ricocheting all around that Sunderland box. Company. Toure. Here's Silva. Nasri. Zabaleta. Nasri finds Toure. Fernandinho, Silva. Silva and Nasri always on the move, in and around that box, looking for pockets of space. Zabaleta has moved forward to good effect here. Controlled it with his arm though as he brought it down. Free kick Sunderland. At least with a part of his arm.
Well, that's where Sunderland are quite content to allow the ball to go wide. You see Zabaleta there getting forward. I think it was handball. Caught the top of his arm. Assistant referee on his near side as well, flagged immediately.
His usual warrior-like appearance, Pablo Zabaleta. I thought I saw a little bit of blood just above the left ear. Never a great surprise the way he plays the game. Colback. Toure wins it from him, tries to set Aguero away. O'Shea's dealt with him, but now it's Silva. It was a bit of a rash dive in from Bardsley. Here's Aguero. And he was trying to find Kolarov, he didn't play it to his feet. And then Catamol did the rest, he was on guard.
Well, Catamol 2 or 3 times, he's recognised danger. That time it was Bards, as you say, making a challenge. He didn't need to go to ground. Good play from Silva and Aguero. But again, Lee Catamol, brilliant. He's been outstanding in this first half, Catamol.
And you can see the body language is a picture of frustration, not just on Sergio Aguero, but several of his City teammates. Shoulders a little slumped. I think they want that 1 minute to go by pretty quickly. They need to regroup.
You're right, totally true. And I think you can see the 1 or 2 of the City players not happy. I think they're not happy with the Sunderland players just crunching in with a few tackles as well, unsettling them.
Vincent Kompany. Zabaleta. Dimichelis. Sunderland fans are whistling furiously for half-time. Fernandinho. David Silva. Larsson's lost it to Fernandinho, did enough to stop him. And Manone has got it away. Larsson. Johnson. Half-time just seconds away.
That's what Gus Poyet would have wanted there. Just Adam Johnson buying the foul of Kolarov. Just allows Sunderland just to get the ball forward now and see the half through.
Pretty much as soon as Bardsley kicks this, we'll hear the whistle for half-time. Midway through the 2014 League Cup final, and Fabio Borini's goal has us all set for an upset right now, because it is Premier League strugglers Sunderland who have the lead against title-chasing Manchester City. And Kevin, Sunderland a good value for it.
Yeah, Borini, that man there, scored a wonderful goal. It was a brilliant finish from him. But as you say, Sunderland have been organised, been very, very good defensively, and they've been a real threat on the counter-attack, and Manchester City are struggling to deal with them.
Red and white delight at half-time, City feeling blue. It's a considered-looking Manchester City team, brothers in arms, as they retake the field for the second half. Zabaleta and Nasri having a good old debate. I don't think Manuel Pellegrini is one to read the riot act, rant and rave. I don't think he's one to play the Mourinho games of not saying a great deal either. It'll have been measured, and Sunderland will know that they are in for a long 45 minutes if they're to hold on to or maybe even add to their lead. No sign, Kevin, of any changes having been made by either coach for the restart.
No, certainly from Sunderland's point of view, I wouldn't imagine Gus Poyet would be wanting to make any changes. They'll be quite happy the way that first half went. From Manchester City side, you'll probably see Negredo warming up through this second half. Dzeko's been pretty ineffective in the first half, you have to say that, so that could be a change we could be looking for further on as this game progresses.
Away goes Sunderland. It's been a concerted campaign by the football club in the build-up to their first major final for 22 years. They've done it through social media. Their hashtag has been Dare to Dream. They'll be daring, they'll be dreaming now. They'll be defending for a while too. It's Silva. Edin Dzeko finds Pablo Zabaleta. Toure looking for Nasri, and it is flicked behind by Marcos Alonso. Little bit of a breakdown in communication between the full-back and the centre-back Wes Brown.
Yeah, and perhaps a shout from Vito Manoni in goal there as well, just to allow the ball to run through to safety. So it just puts Sunderland under pressure with this corner.
The runners break. Flicked across towards Company. Di Michelis couldn't turn. And Colback kept his cool right in front of his goalkeeper.
Again, though, Guy, very uncomfortable Sunderland from set plays. Every corner that Manchester City have had today, they've caused problems. Sunderland have got to put that right.
Yeah, everyone's been a scramble, hasn't it? Not just decisively away, straight away. And so far, Manoni's clean sheet intact. Silva to Aguero. First game back after missing 5 with a hamstring injury. Aguero has scored in all of his last 8 Manchester City appearances. Toure. Zabaleta's finding room, something that didn't happen often in the first half. Taking on Colback and only just clearing the adjoining crossbar and post with that, what I think was a cross.
Yeah, it was a cross, of course, but I think the problem that they're finding when they're getting wide, that time it was Zabaleta one-on-one with Colback. Sunderland's back forward just defending narrow, so when a ball's been played in, it's quite comfortable for Sunderland's defence to deal with.
Manuel Pellegrini described Sunderland in the build-up as defiant. His team will have to break down some of that defiance in the next 40 minutes.
And they've proved it through this campaign, haven't they, guys? Well, some excellent performances and results they've had.
That's how to play. That will be a City throw. And Sunderland were on the brink of going out in the quarter-finals against Chelsea until Fabio Borini, yes, him again, popped up to take the game to extra time, and Key won it right at the end. They were on the brink of going out almost before they started. Second round, they were 2-0 down at home to MK Dons before 4 goals in the final quarter of an hour at the Stadium of Light.
Yeah, Manchester City have had a much clearer passage, haven't they, to this final?
It's been demolition jobs all the way.
Yeah.
Just at the moment, though, that 9-0 semi-final aggregate win over West Ham seems a long time ago. Barnsley to Johnson. Trying to trick his way through. Kolarov and Silva between them, didn't allow that. Dzeko has got to put in more of a shift in this second half, for as much of it as he's on the field. Toure, Dzeko.
It's that man that's been causing the problem for Dzeko. When Dzeko is sitting a bit deeper off Aguero, the ball's been played long into him. It's been Catamol that's been around him every single time. Catamol's been so good for Sunderland today.
First sight of Alvaro Negredo starting to go through his warm-up routine. If and when he does come on, it'll be the number 10 that goes up.
Yeah, I'm sure of that.
Nasri. Toure. Zabaleta. Fernandinho. Of course, with Edin Dzeko, he might only need one chance to score. Silva's got a chance here, and Manoni hasn't just saved, he's held on. He had to, with Aguero close by.
Yeah, it was pressurised from Alonso, it was, but didn't really get hold of it, Silva. Again, it's just pressure that's mounting. Good sight of it there for Vito Manoni. Safely back into his hands.
Zabaleta. Marcos Alonso. Here goes Jack Colback. Borini. Colback. Seems to be really growing as a player. Key. That is some distance. Some shot too. Stinging the hands of Costel Pantilimon.
Well, Phil Bardsley to his right-hand side was waving his arms, demanding the ball played to him. And when he took the shot on Key, you could see certainly a look of disgruntled look from Bardsley's face, but it was a good strike. Dealt with well from Pantilimon.
It was wobbling around. Now Pantilimon and his defenders have to deal with the Sunderland corner. Seb Larsson in. Wes Brown, Key. Offside Bardsley, even if he had managed to get the decisive touch. Pantilimon launches.
Well, that just shows again City's vulnerabilities from set plays. It was a decent ball played in from Larsson, a lovely downward header from Wes Brown. I just think with Key, just maybe throw yourself at it a little bit and try to have a swing with your right foot.
Manoni goes long. Key getting into the game as an attacking threat. Colback too. Sunderland do seem to be pushing on. I suppose the last thing they want to do against this City side is sit back.
Again, you're just inviting pressure, aren't you? Again, I think certainly with Lee Cattermole sat in front of Wes Brown and John O'Shea, though, he just gives them a little bit of stability, so Brown and O'Shea can drop off at times. But Key has been very good in possession for Sunderland as well.
Silva. Toure. Key in the way of it. Barini. Didn't work for him that time. Dimichelis wins the ball. And gets something he's perhaps not used to hearing recently. Applause from City fans. Zabaleta has to work to keep the ball here, but he's done that despite Colback's best efforts. Fernandinho. Somebody's pressed a switch here, we're off. The game has sprung to life again. Silva had his ankles hooked by Lee Cattermole.
Yeah, the atmosphere's just gone up a notch or two. Good feet it was from Silva, wasn't it? Just Lee Cattermole, he got the wrong side. Bought the foul.
Talked before the game, we were having a chat before the game of when Lee Cattermole would get a yellow card, but in actual fact, he has played with such discipline.
He has, especially with his backtracking as well. Sometimes you can give rash fouls away when you're going back towards your own goal, but I said at the outset before, Cattermole has been brilliant, really has been very good today.
You know, he's only actually been booked twice all season. And there's been a red to throw in there as well.
Say how many red cards he got off the back of that.
Long way from goal. Samir Nasri knows what he wants to do. He's trying to find somebody else. It's Toure. And the setup was a little too strong from Silva.
Just a little sluggish guy, isn't it? That's all it was.
Here's Kolarov. Is that City in general? In from Nasri. Played behind Aguero. There's Nasri high on Larsson. There's no free kick. There's a chance for Toure. And now Zabaleta. Toure! Oh. Brilliant! What a goal from Yaya Toure! That is a stroke of magic. Manchester City are level in the League Cup final and in the grandest of styles.
What a goal. Absolutely outstanding. We were talking at half-time who was going to be that player that was going to get City back into it. Not enough pressure from Key, but that's unstoppable. Absolutely unstoppable. Couldn't have placed it any better. What a goal.
That could not have been measured any more precisely. Yaya Toure has scored his 17th goal of the season. Has there been one better than that? Manchester City 1, Sunderland 1. This League Cup final is alive. Sunderland come straight back at City with Catamol. Marcos Alonso. Kolarov keeps his head. Pantelemon's in a real hurry.
Brilliant kick, brilliant.
Aguero. Kolarov. Dzeko wants it. Doesn't come to him. Does come though to Samir Nasri. It is another super strike. City turn it around in the blink of an eye.
Well, that just came from Pantelimon. What a strike it was out from the back. Wonderful control from Aguero. It was just Kolarov getting on the outside. Played a decent ball and it was a little deflection that took it into Nasri's pass, but what a finish. Two wonderful strikes for Manchester City to get themselves in front.
Up until then, all of Samir Nasri's goals this season have come at home. Now he fires in at Wembley Stadium. City 2, Sunderland 1. The big guns are back in style.
It's been an incredible few minutes, hasn't it, Guy? What a turnaround it's been. Sunderland so disciplined in that first half, playing extremely well. It's all turned in the blink of an eye.
1 minute, 45 seconds in between the two Manchester City goals. And a City change. Jesus Navas is on. Sergio Aguero has had to make way. Well, I suspect that was part of Pellegrini's plan. Now they're in front. He can take off one of the biggest stars of all.
There it is, but the onus now on Sunderland to get forward. They have played well on the break, but they've had to contain City for long periods, sitting very deep. Now they're going to have to come out and go at City.
Di Michelis. What a different feel there is to the final now. Fernandinho. Yaya Toure kept quiet in the first half. I was about to ask you the question, Kevin. Why is it that in some of the big games, not all, let's be honest, he's won FA Cup finals and semi-finals here, but sometimes Toure just goes missing, and then he does that.
Well, he scored the winner, didn't he, in that famous cup final win over Stoke a few years ago now, but he is a wonderful player, and sometimes you see him going out of games for long periods, and it's only when he steps forward that you see the real Yaya Toure, and you say that moment of magic from him got City level. It's an incredible goal from him.
Silva to Toure. Toure to Nasri. Now the men in sky blue start to knock it around freely again. Silva. Kolarov. Kolarov keeps going. Was he caught? Martin Atkinson doesn't think so.
Well, he's looking for it, isn't he? Quick shift of the feet between Johnson and Bardsley, and just dangled his leg in, didn't he? There was contact, definite contact from Bardsley.
I think Alexander Kolarov might have made a little bit more of that in his appeal to the referee, had City still been behind.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think with Sunderland being in front, it changes that.
Sunderland changes, and Seb Larsson is not happy with someone or something as he goes off. He's pointing the finger accusingly, and Adam Johnson's having to make way as well. Craig Gardner and Stephen Fletcher are on for the Black Cats, and Craig Gardner is on with a message.
Probably more of a 4-4-2 now for Sunderland. Perhaps a little bit more direct at times into Fletcher.
Stephen Fletcher's been struggling with an Achilles problem. He's been struggling for goals. He's only scored one in his last 17 appearances. has won the League Cup, the Scottish version. 7 years ago, he managed to get 2 in a final for... He managed to get 2 in a final against Kilmarnock. For Hibs, presumably. Toure finds Kolarov. Silva. Kolarov outside. Nasri just outside. Put everything he had into that. Plenty of power, didn't get the bend.
Yeah, decent effort. Again, it's Kolarov getting down the left side. Good pullback. You see what he was trying, looking for Manoni's top left-hand corner. But unfortunately, missing the target.
Tell us about the psyche of a top-level footballer, Kevin. At times under Roberto Mancini, no two ways about it, Samir Nasri sulked. Under Pellegrini, he has been terrific right from the season start.
He has. He's had a brilliant season, and it's probably down to a manager giving him the support that he feels he needs. He's just comfortable with Pellegrini. He's comfortable with the style of play that Pellegrini plays, and he's happy.
Like racehorses, you really are precious little things, aren't you?
Yeah, at times. At times.
Jesus Navas finds Yaya Toure. Sunderland's throwing. City can expect a Sunderland response at some point. Colback. Sunderland scream for a free kick, and they've got one. Much to Zabaletta's anger, for want of a better word.
It was a tight call, wasn't it, for Martin Atkinson, the referee. But it's a big chance here now for Sunderland, a real big opportunity for them to cause problems.
It's going to be key to get the ball in. It's a good ball in as well. Just a little too high for all those red and white shirts trying to attack it.
Yeah, he didn't look confident there, Pantilimon, did he?
Well worth another look at the goal that drew City level. There haven't been many better than that at this Wembley or the old Wembley.
No, it was a decent setup for him, and an incredible strike from Yaya Toure, and Nasri putting them 2-1 up with a wonderful finish himself.
Don't try and tell me that the League Cup is low down the agenda. Not when you get reactions like that from players, not when you get to this stage.
Well, you could see Sami Nasri, and he's had heartache in this competition. What it means to him to score in a final and to try to propel his side to victory.
Bardsley's throw. Here's Stephen Fletcher. Trying to wriggle away from Di Michelis. Flag being waved in Sunderland's favour. Di Michelis is pointing to a blade of grass that he sees as key evidence there.
Yeah, I think there was contact. Good feet from Fletcher, stepping inside Di Michelis, but I think there was contact.
Marcus Alonso is charged with the responsibility of getting the ball into the City penalty area. The two in the wall shuffle forward as Marcus Alonso puts it in, and it was a test for Pantilimon. O'Shea, Toure, there's a scream of handball, mainly from the fans behind the goal. Sunderland throw, should they have had a little bit more than that?
I'm not so sure Martin Atkinson had a good view of that. Pantilimon didn't deal with it too well, no. I don't think that's a penalty.
Toure with the acrobatic kick away in the end. Dimichelis just got it away in time again. I think the Sunderland shout was they felt the ball rolled up his arm onto his chest. I don't think that was quite conclusive. Fernandinho da Silva. Well, since going behind, Sunderland have settled themselves again.
Yeah, they have. I think it's incredible though how the game can change like it has, because Sunderland playing so well. 2 incredible goals that have got City in front in this game, and sometimes you can't stop that.
Catamol ran into Fernandinho. Sunderland free kick though. I think those two are enjoying the duel against one another.
Yeah, Catamol's been brilliant today, he really has.
Wes Brown's going forward. John O'Shea will join him once he's given words of instruction to Craig Gardner. It's Gardner's clip in. It was O'Shea who was trying to charge onto it, and he'll stay forward for the corner.
Well, he did well there, Navas, tracking the run of O'Shea. Again, it's another opportunity.
Captain on captain. Over it comes, and it's defended, I think, by Dimichelis under some pressure. Another corner comes now.
It's a great ball played in. Great whip and dip from Key. Difficult for City to deal with.
Key sprinting across to take the next one too. Dimichelis watching Fletcher. Key's ball in. It's headed away by Dzeko. Catamol ordering Jack Colback into the right place. Colback's cross. Up goes Fletcher. Lovely knockback. Barini. Dimichelis whacks the ball high and away. Barini. That's a Manchester City throw-in.
Well, I think that was a chance, you know. It was a good knockdown from Fletcher. I think Barini just hesitated and allowed the ball to bounce, so he couldn't get the strike on target.
Chris Poyet trying to get a message out to his players. It must be nigh and impossible for a coach to do that in this din.
Yeah, he's right at the edge of his technical area, Gus Poyet, but the Sunderland players won't be able to hear a word he says.
Bardsley's throw. Barini. Fletcher nearly got it back to him. There's Silva. City on a Sunderland style breakaway. Dzeko to Nasri. Jesus Navas wants it over on the other side. Nasri's trying to do it all by himself. And it will be a goal kick.
Well done, Lee Catamol again. Seeing the danger. Coming across to Nasri and to help John O'Shea out.
Khaldoon Al Mubarak, City's day-to-day chief, Sheikh Mansour's main representative. Heather Shorts found something else to catch his interest, the Sunderland owner. Bardsley. Catamol, one of his first bad balls of the day. Toure. Nasri, well, by accident or design, he let it run through nicely to Silva. Jesus Navas, that's going to bounce behind for a goal kick.
Yeah, just a little blind pass from Lee Catamol, but again, that's City on the break. Such pace. Silva and Nasri and Navas coming over, but Sunderland snuffed it out.
Should perhaps mention that Sunderland have twice won from behind on the run to this final. They were behind in the semi-final penalty shootout to Manchester United too. Oh, that's a WWE style collision between Silva and Bardsley. Weren't any ropes to stop them.
Yeah, it's good from Bardsley though, isn't it? Just get straight back up, gets on with the game.
And remembers it for later.
Yeah, quite right.
Zabaleta. Can't go any further. Whistle's gone. He's just having to take deep breaths every time he hears that whistle go against him.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that one. See, disappointed there, Zabaleta. Looked a fair challenge to me.
O'Shea. Here's Bardsley. Gardner loses out to Company. Di Michelis has just hacked that anywhere. Anywhere was key. Marcos Alonso. Company's missed it. Di Michelis, well, somewhat atones for his error by flicking the ball clear. And it was another howler. Kolarov now caught on the ball. Gardner. Good spell for Sunderland. Fletcher! Straight at Pantilimon.
Well, that's all come from Di Michelis. Poor clearance. Lifts the Sunderland supporters. It was a half chance for him. Good little flick inside it was from Gardner. Good play from Colbeck. Unlucky.
Marcos Alonso. Here's Company. Thinking back to his first half challenge on Barini now.
Yeah, it was. You called it at the time, didn't you? How big a challenge could that be when Barini was through one-on-one with Pantilimon?
Kolarov. Collected by Key. Colback will leave it to Marcos Alonso. Tyneside a callback again. Now it's Key. Too high for Bardsley. Well, Key rarely misplaces a pass, but that did just have a little too much on it.
Yeah, just, you said before, he's played really well, Key, today. Has in possession. Just a little overhit on the pass. Bardsley was in acres of room though. Could have got forward and put some decent ball into Manchester City's penalty area.
Dzeko. Won by Fletcher. Lovely bit of skill from Stephen Fletcher. Brown. Navas header, and Colback is there to get onto it. Marcos Alonso. Zabaleta snapping at him. Jesus Navas now taking over. Sunderland's throw-in. Alonso was given his one and only appearance for the Real Madrid first team by the opposition boss today, Manuel Pellegrini. O'Shea. Bardsley looked offside there, Gardner, and he's been given as such.
Just a little overhit it was from Bardsley as well as he stepped inside. But the pressure's mounting on City again now. Good response from Sunderland here.
Sunderland, of course, left it very late at Manchester United in the semi-final second leg. Phil Bardsley scoring in the 119th minute before Javier Hernandez forced penalties with a goal of his own a minute later. They did it against Chelsea in the quarter-final, leaving it very late, both in normal time and extra time. So this has a way to go yet, this cup final.
Well, there's been so many incidents this season for Sunderland on this cup run. Twists and turns all the way for them, so they just need another moment, magic moment before the end of this game.
Fletcher. Navas couldn't stop the ball from going through to Marcos Alonso. Looking for Gardner here, the flag's up again. Don't think it would have made a difference to his attempts to control it.
No, it was miscontrolled, but City just playing Bit of a dangerous game at the moment, just playing that high line. Looking to play the Sunderland players offside. Clearly offside, but that might be an opportunity for a runner from deep to try to get in behind City in the closing stages.
It was a stroke of fortune because the deepest defender was Zabaleta. He had no idea who was there behind him.
No, he didn't. He had the poor body shape, didn't see the runner behind him. It's actually Dimichelis that stepped up. But as you say, it's a dangerous game here that they're playing, City.
Dimichelis had her out. Gardner, Catamol. Marcus Alonso will chase, but to no avail. It's going to be a City thrown. It looks as though there's going to be a substitution each about to be made. First one is a Sunderland one. Lee Catamol's going off. Well, I suppose, being a goal behind, they have to sacrifice their main shield.
Well, he's a bit disappointed there, isn't he? But Catamol's played really well. He has, certainly from a defensive point of view as well. But Giaccherini gives them another attacking option.
Another Italian. And the Manchester City change sees Spaniard for Spaniard. David Silva is off and Javi Garcia is going to come on. And you'd think in nature that's a defensively minded change.
Yeah, I would imagine that. Garcia will probably sit in front. Just gives them, maybe perhaps push Yaya Toure further up the pitch as well. That's what certainly looks what happens there, yeah. Yaya Toure just stepped a little bit higher up the pitch.
Usually means City start to play a little bit better.
Yeah.
No disrespect to David Silva, of course, it's just the Yaya Toure effect.
Well, he's one of the best in Europe, isn't he?
Javi Garcia's name cheered by City supporters when he came on. One time he was their Dimichelis, but he has had a much better second season at the club.
Again, I think there's quite a few in that same boat. Quite happy this season under Pellegrini.
There is Javi Garcia. Navas. Company. Good ball. Zabaleta. Toure first in line for the cutback. Toure. Did he need that touch? Didn't earlier on in the game.
No, it was a poor touch from him. You see the quality that he has, Yaya Toure. He was just checking his run, waiting for the ball to be played back to him from Zabaleta too.
Sunderland making hard work of getting the ball away from their penalty area, and Key took a risk sliding in there. It looked a little late. I think Javi Garcia won the race, but no harm done and no free kick.
No, Garcia didn't go rolling around, did he? Just studs up a little bit from Key. No, actually wasn't. It was just a bit of a clash with his knee, but nothing in it really.
He pulled the boots back. He tried to pull out of it, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Cleared by Kolarov. Free kick. There was a push on the Serbian fullback. Perini's asking what it was for, and Kolarov is too for some reason. Another who seemed to be second choice under Roberto Mancini. Certainly last season that was the case, but if anything, he's just pushed Gal Clichy out more often than not in this campaign.
Yeah, he has, and he gives them, I think, a better attacking option going forward as well. He's got a wonderful left foot. Kolarov, when he does get forward as well, he delivers some incredible crosses at times.
Scored a couple of goals against Sunderland in his time too, including one superb free kick in a 3-0 win in Manchester in the first half of last season. Just at the moment it looks as though Sunderland's hoodoo over Manchester City is about to be broken. Fernandinho. Jesus Navas. Marcus Alonso doesn't know which way he's going. Did well to stick with him, but it will be a corner.
Yeah, he did well, Alonso. Showed him the line. Couldn't quite shake him off though, Navas. You can see what he was trying to do, trying to get to the byline to pull it back across goal, but Alonso stuck to his task well. Conceded the corner though.
Anybody does well to stick with him. Billy Whiz.
Yeah.
Nasri in much more relaxed mood now as he goes to take the corner. At the moment, he stands to be the cup final match winner. In from the Frenchman. Hooked towards goal, but it's wide of the goal with some City fans ready to cheer again. Company coming close.
Well, again, it was another corner. Sunderland haven't dealt with these corners well today. Just got himself in position. He did enough, actually, Wes Brown, just to prevent him getting his strike on target. But again, it was Sunderland defence under pressure from set plays.
Zabaleta. Navas. Marcos Alonso's got a hold of him there, hand in hand. Free kick City, yellow card for Alonso.
Yeah, clear booking. Navas had the run on Alonso. Alonso had hold of him for 5 or 10 yards. See quite clearly.
9 minutes of the 90 to go. First yellow card of the final.
Yeah, and there's been 1 or 2 meaty challenges put in as well, hasn't there? So it's fair play to Martin Atkinson. I think he's done a good job today.
I was just going to say that. Big thumbs up to the referee. Had a big call to make early on with that Bardsley challenge, but he set the tone, and the players have responded too.
You can't say this has been a dirty game at all. I think it's been hard, it's been fair, but both teams have contributed to that.
Nasri. Toure. Trying to roll it through to Jesus Navas. Marcos Alonso. Well, he deals with him rather better this time.
Yeah, that was really good from Alonso. Navas had the run on him. He's going back towards his own goal. Managed to get his body in between Navas and the Sunderland goal and dealt with it well.
8 minutes to go, Kevin. City look as though they're getting a grip back on the game again. What on earth can Sunderland do? They must have enough energy left to try and have a real go. Might as well.
Yeah, of course, and I mean, maybe just try to get it forward a little bit quicker at times into Fletcher and Barini off and around him. That could be key for Sunderland.
Here's Colback. Might be something on for them here. Bardsley. Getting away from Kolarov to let fly. But the ball did fly.
Yeah, speculative from Bardsley as he steps in on his left foot. It's always going to be difficult for him on his weaker foot from 25 yards out. Had options as well, didn't he? Had 2 or 3 options going beyond him and a couple wide to his left as well. Just think he chose the wrong one.
It's Poyet hoping that there will be at least one more big chance before time runs out on him. The way these big games work, usually there will be one for the team that's behind. Company. Dzeko. Still on the field. Applied himself a little bit better in this second half.
Yeah, he has, but I think he has struggled. He's given possession away a lot as well when the ball's been played into his feet. Hasn't been a really good focal point for City today, I don't think.
Nasri. Dzeko. Javi Garcia finds Alexander Kolarov. Colback grabbing back at him desperately. Kolarov then met by Gardner. City's throw.
Good energy from Colback, tracking the run all the way. And Gardner, of course, then getting across to help his teammate out. That's a difficulty Sunderland will have now when they're going back towards their own goal, wasting energy that could be used going forward for them.
Kolarov. Nasri. Lovely dink through to Yaya Toure, who powers one through. Navas. Zabaleta. From distance. Missed the goal by a little distance.
Yeah, it opened up for him. Again, Zabaleta, pretty much like Bardsley, just a couple of minutes before, on his weaker left side, over the crossbar.
Manone's clearance. Up goes Key with Toure. Dzeko. Nice little knock down to Jesus Navas, who might be onto this. John O'Shea sensibly heads the ball away from goal.
Yeah, good defending. John O'Shea read the danger, just dropped off.
Less than 5 minutes of the 90 to go. Alvaro Negredo is going to get a Wembley run out.
Yeah, I think he deserves it for what he's
The
done
beast.
this season.
Sorry, Kevin.
Yeah.
He sparked the City fans into their first chorus. Fletcher. Promising this for Sunderland. Giaccherini hasn't had a chance to really get into things since coming on. And he lost the ball there to Kompany. And look at this for Manchester City. Jesus Navas, Toure and Dzeko are waiting in the middle. Fernandinho's getting there too. Toure against Brown. Nasri against Gardner. Kolarov. Nicely done, and Nasri finally, with a push and a pull, gets a free kick.
Yeah, that was brilliant from Nasri, Toure and Kolarov there, just killing the game in that corner. One-touch passing, brilliant.
You don't need us to tell you who's coming on. It is the beast. Negredo on for Edin Dzeko. 17-goal man for the season, being replaced by a striker who's got 23. Dzeko's taking plenty of time about it. To be fair, he hasn't moved much more quickly than that all day.
No, I think he's been poor. I really do. Dzeko has not been in the game. He's had very little influence on the match. Slightly surprising to us that he started ahead of Negredo today, but that could be down to maybe that slight injury that he's had in recent weeks, Negredo.
All the time in the world, Edin.
That should be the referee there going over to tell him. You can see Martin Atkinson with his hand on his watch showing that there will be time added for that substitution, or certainly extra time.
On comes Negredo, who just got the 5 goals in the semi-final tie with West Ham. 3 in the first leg, 2 in the second. In from Nasri. Nicely worked away by Sunderland here. Giaccherini. Fletcher. Foul by Negredo. His first action. Just a free kick, no card.
Good feet from Fletcher again, just buying the foul a little bit. A bit isolated on the touchline, but it's an opportunity for Sunderland to put the ball into the mixer.
Well, 2 minutes to go, and Manone is going to go all the way up to halfway to take this. He's just waved Key forward.
And City are vulnerable, aren't they? Long balls into the box, they are vulnerable on these.
Manone's ball forward. Knocked down towards Stephen Fletcher. Couldn't get it under control. And the chance to find a teammate in the middle and maybe rescue the cup final has gone.
Well, that was the big chance, Guy. He was on his right foot. He just pulls the trigger there on his right side. Get your strike away. He always wanting to check it back onto his left foot. He wasn't comfortable, but that was the big chance for Sunderland there.
He who hesitates is lost. That might be the case for Gus Poyet's Black Cats in this cup final. Do you read the lips there? Oh my God, said Gus.
I know, you can feel it there for him, can't you? That was a big chance. Just have a shot, have a swing with your right foot if you're not comfortable. Try and get it on target. Who knows?
Gus Poyet got to 1 League Cup final as a player, 2002. His Spurs side lost to Blackburn, 2-1. Bit of deja vu. Giaccherini. Sunderland are going to fight to the last. They're going to drag every last ounce of effort out of themselves. Di Michelis has got the ball away though, and look at this. Manchester City are swarming forward. It's Toure. It's Jesus Navas. It's all over. The first pot of the season is going to the blue half of Manchester. Manchester City on the break. Jesus Navas on the score sheet at Wembley. And the League Cup is being won by Manchester City for the first time since 1976. City 3, Sunderland 1.
Yeah, it was given away from Alonso. It was a good challenge from Fernandinho, but Yaya Toure, the man that scored that first goal to get City back in the game. It's a wonderful break from him and a perfectly timed pass to Navas. Finished it really well, giving Manoni no chance. But saying that was a thing for Sunderland. They had to throw bodies forward. They had to try and get themselves back into the game. Manoni just couldn't quite get a strong enough hand on the strike. And they say, that's game over.
Lovely shot. Lovely smile. You always remember your first time. First trophy in English football for Manuel Pellegrini. His first trophy as a manager since lifting the Intertoto Cup with Villarreal a decade ago.
Say it's a big moment for him. Really is for Pellegrini. You want to win trophies, you're coming into a big club, and this could be the first of many this season for Manchester City.
We're into stoppage time, we're well into it. Nearly a minute and a half of it played already, and the board said 4. The scoreboards say 3-1. Company. Fernandinho. Jesus Navas. Negredo. Expert control. And Negredo has just booted the ball behind the goal and into the stand, and it is a rather cynical attempt to run down the clock, and he'll get a yellow card.
Yeah, great touch from him initially, just couldn't get his strike away, and Bardsley got back well to win the foul. Quite rightly got a yellow card though, kicking the ball into the stand.
Gus Poyet Sunderland deserve huge credit for what they've brought to this Capital One Cup final, and indeed the competition as a whole this season.
Yeah, it's been a great run for them, Guy, hasn't it? It's been a brilliant run for them. Just unfortunately, after that wonderful first half they produced in this game.
Bardsley, Di Michelis couldn't stop it. Zabaleta did. Key, great tackle. Absolute beauty that from Fernandinho. Nasri to Toure. Negredo's got his head down running. Toure's ignored him. Fernandinho to Zabaleta. The noise is Sunderland noise. They've been making it all weekend long, all around every part of London. And they're going to all the way home too.
Yeah, it's been some trip for them. You said before, they've had a great run to get here, and they're going to enjoy it. The club can be so proud of their supporters today.
Kolarov. It's going to end in defeat and upset for them again. 6th time in a row at Wembley that they've lost. Run that started with the 1985 League Cup final. Their only previous time that they've gone all the way in this competition. Beaten by Norwich that time, and they went on to be relegated. That's the danger that Gus Poyet must guard against and rely on those people to help them.
Yeah, you know, the club, the supporters are going to play a huge part in that if they can survive this season. And the form they've showed under Gus Poyet this season has been outstanding, and the supporters, of course, have contributed to that too. So it's an incredible club, Sunderland, and we would all like to see them certainly try to act as neutral as they can, and we'd like to see them in the Premier League.
FA Cup next weekend, both these teams still in it. City at home to Wigan, Sunderland going to Hull. You play for three of those 4 teams. But you never know, they might both be back facing each other in an FA Cup semi-final or even final.
Yeah, that's right, you're saying. Some incredible clubs, but Sunderland today themselves, you say they can do themselves, they've done themselves proud. The team on the pitch has played really well. The supporters, it's been wonderful scenes down here in London.
Manchester City supporters are getting used to success, and they're still enjoying every single minute of it. Key in, headed away by Company. Nasri. There might be another one before we're done. Negredo. Nasri. Nasri wanders through the challenges. So graceful on the ball.
Yeah, Nasri's had a big influence as well in the second half. Him and Torre, brilliant for City.
Zabaleta went down. Back to his feet in glory though, because the full-time whistle is sounded at Wembley. Pellegrini beats Poyet. City beats Sunderland. There will be a blue moon in the sky tonight, because Manchester City have won the League Cup for the first time since 1976. Their hunt for all the trophies this season goes on, because one is in the bag. But Kevin Kilban, they did it the hard way.
They did. Sunderland played really well in that first half, fully deservedly in front. Brilliant goal it was from Barini, but Yaya Touré's equaliser was a thing of beauty. Wonderful strike from him, and then Nasri put them in front. And of course, the goal late on by Navas just killed the game off totally for Sunderland. But you're saying this could be the first of many for Manchester City this season. Wonderful performance.
Gus Poyet Sunderland gave it everything they had. Manchester City just had a little bit too much. Thank you, Sunderland. Thank you, City. A wonderful League Cup final. Manchester City 3, Sunderland 1. Vincent Kompany's doing his best to suppress a huge grin. I'm sure it will be there once he gets to the top and he gets that trophy in his hands. The League Cup has sky blue ribbons. The very same trophy that was presented to the first winners, Aston Villa, back in 1961. This is the 54th season of this great Football League Cup competition. Manchester City's name is going to be on the roll of honour for the third time. 1970, 1976, and now some 38 years on, 2014. Manuel Pellegrini had been set a target of 5 trophies over the next 5 seasons. They might win 3 or 4 this season alone. City fans feel the best is yet to come. The first has arrived. Manchester City are the 2014 League Cup winners.